Welcome back everyone to Pinetopia. Today we are going to begin on our square pattern that we're going to have right around in this area, which is going to be the transition going from here into this area. And this area is right now it's a 12 by 12 block, but what I want to do is going to be requiring an odd number. So how am I going to divide a or turn an even area into an odd area? And the easiest thing I could think of doing right now is to take this bit of stone brick here, repeat it on the outside, and this and this and that and this will all form a frame. And this frame is what we'll be placing the pattern within. And that way we will have an 11 by 11 area and we'll be able to implement our pattern. Now, I am starting in this corner right here for a very specific reason. This is the one that has the highest percentage of netherrack right below the slabs that I have over here. So since we have the largest percentage of netherrack, it means I won't have to worry about dealing with holes or anything like that as I go in here creating, putting things in, taking them out, and all that. I think it'll be a lot easier to complete what I want to complete if I start on this corner. And once I decide that I have a pattern that I like, then I could do the other sides because I know the exact pattern that I'm implementing. The plan I have is this: 1, 2, 3. Then head out this way for 2. Then when I get here to go 1, 2. Now I think we're in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're in the center now. Then once we do that, we then go 2 more like that, go 2, 3, and then like this. Now at this point we switch colors and we do the other side. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Here we have a crossing, and we just have to arbitrarily decide which color to do on the crossing. Then 1, 2, 1, 2, and then right, that's what we went in. We'll fill this with the neutral color. Like that, so that I may have to use a different color in the middle there because I think that just doesn't quite work out because it goes directly into there. So I'm going to have to choose a different neutral color there. I wonder if I've got enough quartz in order to do that, or if I don't have quartz, then there's always diorite's always a possibility. But before I do that, we of course have to do the same thing on the other end. Now on this end, we have to make sure that this is a mirror image. And the reason why I need a mirror image is because we are sharing colors over here. And if we don't do the mirror image, then it won't work at all. Here we have, oh yeah, of course on this end, we will want the red to be dominant on that end. And that way the spare one is going to be the, whatever this color is on that side. All right, there we go. 1, 2, then we cross into there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Boy, all sorts of weird noises in here. Ah, the joys of the Nether. Good. And I think we've got everything there. Now I just need to find a good color to use as filler into here. So one possibility is to use quartz or diorite, as I said before, or maybe bring in the other colors into it. Let's try diorite first. That looks a little bit on the bright side. Maybe if I had something to tone it down a little bit. Andesite, maybe? Nope, that blends in too much. So perhaps we were better off with the diorite. Ah, even better. I use the diorite where we are interfacing with the stone brick, and I use the andesite in these right here, and I think that looks a lot better. Unfortunately, I can't get very high at the moment. Actually, maybe I can from here. Let's see. Well, that's unfortunately the bad news is I still have that up in the way, but let me see. Yeah, I think this is going to work. Now I'll just have to propagate this to each of the other sides using the appropriate colors. And here we are with the floor that we've devised, and I think it'll work. Now there's one small floor section that is not done yet, and that is right here in the middle. Now since we have a specific color for each end, how about we do something like put a cyan over here, or that's the nether brick side, so that means we can put a nether brick over here, and we could do the same. See, we got a polished black stone that we could put right over here. I don't know how well this is going to work. See, that'll have the crimson. I'll grab that in a moment. Now let's compare this to the, and put some slabs, the stone brick slabs as a cross in the middle, and see how that works. Considering how little time I'll be spending in this location, I think it'll work. It's more as a guide than to anything that's going to startle anyone for its grandness. So that takes care of our floor. That means the next thing I have to worry about will be the walls, because the walls right now are still looking a bit on the bare side. But of course, we can't finish up the walls until we do two other things. One is we'll probably need a higher ceiling because this looks a bit low. So I suspect we may just start at this level and then gradually taper up higher, then level off in the center. I think that's the most likely thing to work. So maybe this will be the height of the wall. But I would like to have each of the walls in some way reflect the scheme of the corridor itself that it goes down. So this is the north path, and whatever we do for the decorations of the walls then will be spilling over into here and then transitioning into whatever is on the next side. Thus, I think I'll next work on the north passage, see how far I get on to that, and once that's done, then I will head on and do the walls themselves. I took the liberty of laying down the northern floor, and this is what our floor is going to look like. We're going to head down this way. Every fourth block we will have a gray one, but every 16th we'll have the diorite. So we'll go down this way, and this will help me to count out the number of chunks that we have. Now we need to work on the corridor walls, which is the next stage here. And this is going to have to be done carefully because we are at a bit of a drop over here. So if I take a wrong step, I'll go plummeting down. And the idea here is to start out Actually, I think I want this to match that, because if it doesn't match it, I think it'll look a bit off. So what I'll do is I'll have this here. Oops. Yeah, it's likely a lot. Fortunately, it's only cobble. That's one of the reasons why I use cobble for that particular purpose, is because it's one of the more disposable items in there, because you tend to get a great deal of it. There you go. And we will then finish up here, here, and I think, oops, I think that's what I want. Well, I didn't want the second one to be there, but that's the idea there, and then that will transition into the ceiling, and the ceiling is going to be blackstone. Oh, I don't have much in the way of blackstone slabs left, so I'm going to have to create a few more slabs. So I have some blackstone slabs going along that side, and in the middle, right, and in the middle we are going to have the brick slabs like that. I'll make a little bit more blackstone, then I can continue. There you go. Now I've got plenty of that for the next step. Let's get this opened out, and then I can show you the pattern properly. Probably going to be losing some of this. As long as I don't fall down and drop everything, it should be fine. All right, good. Now, what I'm going to do is on the bottom, I'll have stone brick. And then on the top, I'll have stone brick. Then right here, I'm going to place a shroom light at the 4 points. There you go. Then we'll have blackstone brick right over here. And that will be the pattern that will continue all the way down. This looks pretty good so far. Now, one little variation on this is that when we are at the 16th block where we have the diorite, to replace the shroom light with glass so that we can see through here, I think that will make a nice little addition, at least if we are in an area where you can see something. If we're in a location where you're tunneling through tons of netherrack, we'll see nothing but netherrack, then I would replace that just with the shroom light so that it would look fine. That way we could have some idea what's going on outside the nether, and we could decide where we want to do branches to do various things. And maybe someday I will see some reachable glowstone, because strangely enough, I have not yet gotten any glowstone in this world, and that would be really useful to get someday. But what I want to worry about now is the wall pattern. And after seeing this, I think this will work pretty much straight on. I do want to make sure the dimensions are right first. If I simply made it so that we had shroom lights where I now have the torches, they go 1, 3, this 1, 2, 3 to another shroom light there, then 1, 2, 3, and another one there, then we would have a rather awkward ending there, so that won't work right. I think I'll just measure this off using this. So how about if we go here, Set the color there. Then we have a shroom light there. 1, 2, 3. Shroom light there. 1, 2, 3. Shroom lights there. Then we could go 2 more for the color. Actually, if it's going to be balanced, I guess we're just going to move it all left by 1. I think at that point, you'd go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and be nice and balanced. The only problem is that here we'll have a sudden change of color going from the black stone to the warped wood. Thus, for the corner, then, we would have the neutral color. For these parts, we would have the shroom. I mean, not the shroom. We would have the black stone. Oh, actually, that won't work all that. How about putting andesite there instead? That way, we would have something that contrasts with the stone brick that we have above and below, but it would not be too sharp of a change when we go into there. I guess the only way to be sure is to try it. I think the only real question is going to be the transition point anyways. So I think we can at least do the beginning sides. Be nice to have some support on the tunnel there because it looks rather strange going all the way through there with almost no support, but I'm not too sure there's a good way around that. And the floor really blends in with the stone brick. It's not as bad here, but here that could be a problem. After a couple of trials, I decided to try basalt, and I think that actually works. We have the black stone going here, then we have the basalt during the transition, then finally we have the warped wood going on that way. And I think that will work very, very well. And that takes care of one of the quadrants. I'm going to let that sit for a while and think about it. Then I'll head over into the overworld. The hub and tunnel project is going to take a huge amount of resources before it's complete. I'm going to need quite a bit of stone. I am having my 2 furnaces here in continuous operation, trying to get as much stone as possible, but I'll probably need a more sophisticated furnace system before I can really keep up properly. Also have to go into various parts of the nether in order to get as much black stone and all the other things as possible. So I have quite a bit of gathering of resources that's going to need to be done. And blackstone is one of those things that's probably going to be the hardest of all them to find. Must have 3 furnaces cooking stone all at once. Actually, it might be better just to build a furnace array in the nether, because if I'm in the nether building and needing the brick, then it'll be able to cook while I'm there, rather than having to come up into the overworld in order to force the building. So I'm going to do that in the next episode. But at the start of it, I think I need a new project here in the overworld, and we'll find out what that is in the next episode of Pinetopia.